Hey everyone, welcome to day 7 of health. Today we are talking about self-esteem and the things that influence our self-esteem, how to think positively about ourselves, and then how to recognize and control some of our emotions to help give us better health behaviors, which will give us a more positive self-esteem or a more positive feeling about ourselves. So remember, the difference between self-esteem and self-image is self-image is the way that you see yourself, and that can change constantly, and it can change with the different roles that you play in your life. So maybe as a babysitter, you feel confident and you feel important, but as a student, you might feel overwhelmed and you might feel not very smart. So those things can change from one situation to the next, and they can change quickly and frequently throughout the day. Self-esteem is harder to change. It's more about how you feel, and it involves a lot of your actions and your behaviors, your self-confidence, how good you feel about yourself in order to do something new or try something that you might be a little bit worried to try. And it has to do with your self-worth. How much do you value yourself, and how much do you feel like you're making a positive contribution to your school, to your community, to your family. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Okay, so your warm-up today. People, experiences, and emotions during our childhood affect our self-esteem. So I want you to write that quote down. It'll probably show up on a quiz at some point, so write that quote down, and I'm going to show it to you again here. People, experiences, and emotions during our childhood affect our self-esteem. So what this quote is saying is that the people that you're around, the experiences that you have, and the different emotions that you feel during childhood can positively or negatively impact your self-esteem. So what you're going to do for your warm-up, so you've written that quote down. Everyone should write that quote down. 1000% sure you're writing that quote down. You are going to journal, that means write sentences, about 2 childhood experiences that could lead to healthy or high self-esteem, and journal about 2 childhood experiences that could lead to low self-esteem. Okay? So as you're thinking about this, they don't have to be personal, they can be. The journal is your journal. It's for you to kind of write and express what you're feeling or what you're thinking, and this is something where people have pretty strong thoughts and feelings. So think about things like birthday parties, or being part of sports teams, or going to church, or any religious institution with your family. And what kind of feelings do those bring up? Are they positive? Are they negative? Maybe a birthday party with all your family where everyone's celebrating you is like this positive thing, and maybe a birthday that went by that nobody even remembered to say happy birthday is a negative experience and not very, it hurts you to think about, it hurts your feelings. So, and that could negatively impact your self-esteem. So anything like that, as you're thinking about childhood experiences, like I said, they can be personal, but they don't have to be. And if you're writing in your journal, just say, hey, this one person, especially if you're writing about being teased, don't be like, Mrs. Johnson does this every single day. Remember, we're not using personal names. So just say, there's a girl in my class, or there's this boy that I know who does this, and that, causes some, it could cause or does cause some negative self-esteem. Okay, so once you're finished with your warm-up, you're flipping your page over. On the back of that page is where we're going to do our notes. All right, so let me move you up here, turn this around. Okay, things that affect your self-esteem. Things that affect your self-esteem positively: being loved, praised, listened to, respected, having success in school or sports. Sorry, I'm trying to, there we go. Or any other activity. Okay. So anytime that you feel good about yourself, your self-esteem is being impacted positively. So when your parents tell you I love you, when they give you hugs, when they do something special for you or buy you something that you've always wanted, that affects your self-esteem in a positive way. When you can talk to a friend or a parent and they truly are listening to you, they're hearing you, they want to help you, that affects your self-esteem in a positive way. When people tell you, hey, good job, I love the way that you did that, that's being praised. That affects your self-esteem in a positive way. Okay. And of course, anytime that you're having a success or you're getting an award, and it could be in school, it could be in sports, it could be choir or dance or being an outstanding leader in the community for service work or community work, volunteering. So any of those things would be a great impact positively on your self-esteem. Negatively, okay, feeling unloved, forgotten about, okay, feeling criticized, beaten or verbally abused, feeling neglected or actually being neglected, failure, being teased, especially teased incessantly by people over and over and over again. That can start to make you feel terrible about yourself. And being expected to be perfect. So those of you that are about to ask me, yes, you need to write these down in your notebook. They are part of our notes for today, so yes, you need to write all of those down. When you are a part of a family where it's okay to say negative or mean or hurtful things to each other, that can cause negative self-esteem, okay? And it doesn't have to be that you allow that to continue to happen. Now, of course, you're not going to say to your parents, stop saying mean things to me, because I'm sure they're not going to like that. But you can be the change. You can be the one that's going to say nice things to other people. And remember, we kind of talked about earlier when you're kind to others, they tend to be kind back. So if you're saying nice things to other people, they tend to want to say nice things to you. So if you're saying mean things to other people, they want to say mean things back to you. So you can be the break in that cycle. If somebody says something mean to you, either don't respond or say something kind to them at a later time. You're like, hey, you know what? I really like that you did this. Or this thing, I really appreciate this thing about you. So you can kind of be that change within your family and try to spread some positive joy, some positive love. Now, there are families, unfortunately, where people are neglected, where people are abused or hurt. And that can definitely lead to low self-esteem, which can lead to all kinds of other issues going on. So if that's something that's happening in your life, you need to reach out to a trusted adult. You need to reach out to a teacher. You need to reach out to a guidance counselor, to a youth pastor, to a coach, to someone that you trust, someone that you can talk to, and someone that you can bring those issues to, where they can get you in touch with the right people to help you, okay? So don't let those things continue to happen to you and just think, oh, this is just my life. This is what just happens to me. Stand up, talk to somebody, and push for the help that your family needs, okay? It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to be that voice of sanity, saying, hey, this isn't normal, and there shouldn't be this verbal or physical abuse happening inside my family. Okay. All right. Other things. Failing a test and being teased, those are school things. So obviously, failing a test can make you feel bad, but it would be the constant feeling like a failure. So it's not just one time, but it can negatively impact your self-esteem if you fail a test one time, but it's not going to change your self-esteem completely. It's where nothing ever feels good enough. Like your teacher is always mad at you because it's never good enough. Nothing makes them happy. Nothing is good. So that constant feeling of failure is what really negatively impacts your self-esteem, and the constantly being teased. Okay. The expected to be perfect can really make you feel a negative pressure in your self-esteem, and that can be brought on by you personally. Like, I have to get 100% and everything has to be perfect, and that can cause an extreme amount of stress and anxiety, and that is going to bring your self-esteem down. Like, you didn't get it right and you're never doing it right. And that same pressure from anyone in your family, anyone in your circle of friends or at school that's pushing you, you have to get 100, you always need to do it right. That's just not true. And missing a few every now and then is okay, and it's human. It's part of human nature. No one is perfect. Everyone messes up. It's how we react to those mess ups and how we bring ourselves back together that defines who we are, and that defines our character and how people see us. So don't freak out. Everyone messes up. Don't think that you're terrible or worthless, because you're not. It's just part of being a human, okay? So, yes, that can impact you negatively. We got to start shifting our train of thought. Like, this is normal. This is human. We don't have to be perfect, even if you're feeling that pressure from somebody else. Okay? Just talking it through to yourself. This is normal. This is human. I don't have to be perfect, because no one's perfect. Okay? All right. Very good. So, moving on, and we're talking about emotions. So, emotions are feelings or reactions to a situation that can affect your mind, body, and behavior. Sorry, I just wrote that on there this morning because I realized I didn't type it in there. So, emotions are feelings or reactions to a situation that can affect your body, mind, and behavior. Okay. All right. So, high and low self-esteem are big important factors in your internal influences. Remember, internal is coming from within you, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, okay? Obviously, your self-esteem is how you feel. So those are huge factors of how you feel. They are huge internal influences. How you feel, your thoughts and feelings are internal influences, okay? So those feelings play a huge role in your health behaviors and your decisions. Whether or not you're going to do some of these risk-taking behaviors, such as trying alcohol, or trying different drugs, or trying tobacco, smoking, or juuling, or whatever it might be. The higher your self-esteem, the less likely it is that you're going to try some of those things. Okay, so when you feel good about yourself, when your self-esteem is high, you feel okay saying, no, that's just not something I'm into, that's just not something I want to try, and you're confident, and you are proud enough of yourself to know, like, even though I don't do those things, I will still have friends, I will still fit in. And I bring this up all the time in my health classes. When I was in high school, now granted you're only in middle school, my friends, I had some friends that would always say, Miss Johnson, they didn't call me Miss Johnson, they called me my first name, come to this party, come do this, come hang out with us. And that is just not what I was, that's just not who I was about, or what I was about. That's just not who I was. So I would say to them, like, I don't think so, but if you just change your mind, you want to do something else, let me know, and we'll hang out. So they would call me grandma all the time. They're like, oh, you're such a grandma. But they were still my friends, and we understood that it was a joke, and they understood not to push it. And they knew that I had values that I was going to stand for, and that I wasn't going to be the person that's drinking and crazy at a party, or out smoking on the corner, like by the convenience store. Like, that's just not who I am. And so while they kind of teased me about it at first, they realized if they wanted to be my friend, then they were going to have to get over it. And they did. And there are some of them that are still my good friends today. So you don't have to compromise who you are just to have a certain set of friends. If they like you for who you are, not for the things that you're doing. So let that self-esteem, let that self-confidence shine through, and just say flat out, this isn't, no thank you. Like, I like you and I want to hang out and I want to be your friend, but like, let's go to a movie, let's do this instead, let's go to the park and shoot hoops, whatever it is. I will hang out with you and I want to hang out with you, but I'm not going to do these things. Okay, that just compromises my values and what I'm about. So, and it's okay to say those things. It's okay to do those things with people, to people. Okay. So your emotions are also something that affect your decisions and your health behaviors. So there are 6 main emotions that people feel throughout their lifetime, okay? So remember, emotions are feelings or reactions to a situation that can affect your body, mind, and behavior. So the 6 most common emotions are love, anger, being afraid, feeling guilty, happiness, and sadness. So those are the 6 most common emotions. And you know that these feelings definitely affect your mind and body. Think about your mind when you're angry. Like, you are not thinking clearly. You're like, I want to punch that person's face in, and I don't care what kind of trouble I get into, right? So you know these emotions, these are internal influences. They affect your behavior. They affect how you're thinking. Your body changes. You get red in the face when you're angry. You are clenching your fist. You're breathing faster. Your heart is beating, right? Think about when you're feeling loved and you're feeling happy. You're calm. You're relaxed. You are willing to be forgiving of people and understanding of what they're saying. So it absolutely changes your body, your mind, and your behavior. And so being able to control your emotions is huge. Okay, and we're going to talk more about that in our next lesson, I think, either tomorrow or Monday. So what I want you to do is just write a sentence about each of the times that you felt these emotions. I felt love when. What makes you feel love? What makes you feel angry? I felt angry when. I felt afraid when. I felt guilty when. I felt happy. I felt sad. So like an example of like feeling love is like, I feel love when my parents threw me a birthday party. I felt anger when someone made fun of me. I felt afraid when my mom had to go to work and left me in charge of me and my younger brothers or sisters, and I could hear strange noises outside. I felt afraid when I was about to take a test and I hadn't studied for it at all. Okay? I felt guilty when I lied to my mom. I felt guilty when I took a pack of gum that belonged to my brother's and I knew that he really wanted it. I felt happy when I passed a test, when I got a present. So whatever that might be. I felt sad, and that says if, but it shouldn't. I felt sad when, and it could be anything, when my parents got divorced, when my dog died, when I asked for something specific and my parents didn't do it. Or my son, I was 2 minutes late to basketball practice and he was sad that I was late. He was like, I thought you weren't coming. He was all afraid and nervous and sad because I was a little bit late picking him up from his practice. So what are some things that make you feel sad? All right, well, moving on to our wrap up, and I know this video is a little bit longer than some of our others have been. So for the wrap up, what are 3 things that can have a positive effect on a person's self-esteem? What are 3 things that can have a negative effect on a person's self-esteem? 2, what are the 6 emotions that we all experience from time to time throughout our lives? That should be easy, we just covered them. And how can emotions affect one's health? And that was covered earlier in the video, so make sure that you listened to that, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go quickly over, so if you haven't taken a quiz, stop the video and go take the quiz over that stuff. But I wanna talk about today's in-class assignment. So it's gonna be on paper today, and you are gonna do a self-esteem poem, okay? So I'm gonna put it this way so it's a little bit easier for us to go through. So you're filling this out about yourself. So face it, you're putting your name in there, okay? And after each line, it kind of tells you what you're doing. So face it, Mrs. Johnson, so you're putting your name. So face it, John, or whatever your name is up here. You are about the greatest thing since, and you can put your favorite food in here. So my favorite food, I don't know, I do love French toast, so it might be my favorite. So face it, Mrs. Johnson, you're about the greatest thing since French toast. You or no one else can blank like you. And so there's a verb in there. You can put anything, any action word, anything that you like to do. So I like to say no one else can dance like you because I love to dance. I might not be good at it, but I like it. So, but you can put anything, sing like you, play basketball like you, study like you, read like you, take tests like you. No one can play video games like you, whatever it is that you are good at, okay? Your best friend says that you're and my friends tell me all the time how nice I am, how kind I am. So I would say nice. Your best friends say that you're the nicest in the world. Sure, you once, an embarrassing thing you did. Oh gosh, there's a million. I've failed tests. I've fallen flat on my face in front of people. I've been late picking my kids up from practice, which is embarrassing. I mean, there's a million embarrassing things. So any embarrassing thing. So when I was younger in a dance recital, I bowed backwards with my butt to the audience, which was so embarrassing. So sure, you once bowed backwards with your butt to the audience, but you also got a college scholarship for playing softball to Butler. So an honorable thing you did. You passed a test. You helped your parents by doing this or whatever, something cool that you've done that's like, wow, people should know about it. So, and my friends call me KJ. So KJ, so nickname or term of endearment. If you don't have one, just put your name back down there. So KJ, today is the day you're going to stop beating yourself up for, I am late all the time. I'm just a tardy person. So being late, and start loving yourself for being loyal, for being nice, and for being positive. Okay, so anything good about yourself, for being beautiful, for being smart, for being well liked, whatever it is, anything. Okay, so you fill out your poem, and then you are going to decorate it with, you can cut it out, put it on the construction paper. You can use, I'm going to turn you back around, make my life easier. You can use the magazine, so like cutting out different words, like if you like fashion, you can use the word style, or I love this word, strong. So you're going to cut out words or pictures from the magazine that describe you or that show who you are, and you are going to decorate your poem. And you can cut this out and decorate this on here however you want. There are scissors, erasers, crayons in the bags. I'll set out some glue, and I set out the magazines. So that's your in-class assignment for today. When you're finished, we're going to take it to the hallway and tape it up in the hallway. So that is today. And I know this video seems long, and I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you got through it all. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.